Hello everyone, and welcome. This is your host, Pagawiggy, and today your question to life's most frustrating question has finally been answered. It's about time too, because those pesky shield users were an unreasonable nuisance. Today, we learn how to effectively combat the user of a shield and give you a fighting chance. There are a number of different shields in the game, but for the most part this video will focus on fighting users of the shields like the heater and kite shield. The heater and kite shields, here on out known as shields, allow you to activate an active parry system where the shields will deflect all incoming strikes, so long as they strike the shield. This is where it becomes hard to combat shield users. The active parry is a major advantage over your limited window parry with all other melee weapons in the game. Our discussion is going to have two primary parts: how to combat shield users with any weapon, and then perk/weapon specific techniques for combating shield users. In general, the best method for dealing with a shield user is a simple old kick. If the opponent is in heavy armor, or they are not very good and move slowly, you can run right up to them and kick their guard down. For a more experienced shield user, they will always assume this is coming, so they'll constantly back off if you push them, and if they are in light armor, trying to hit them with a kick can be nearly impossible. There are three ways to try and get a kick in on a more experienced player. The first is to try to bait them to attack you, and then straight up kick them or feint morph into an attack. Or you can feint morph into a kick as they get close enough. Another decent method for getting a kick in on your opponent is to clip into their hitbox to slow them down. You can run up to your enemy if they are turtling, and clip on their hitbox on either side and try to kick. Combine this with feigning them to get them to turtle up, and you should fare decently. The third and perhaps the worst method to try is to feint while just pushing them, hopefully getting a kick on them when you're close enough. The only way you're going to pull this off is if you're literally clipping on their hitbox. So you feint, go up to them, and then just kick as soon as you touch their hitbox and they're turtling, especially if they're not moving. A fourth method is to try and initiate a chamber stab and perform a chamber morph to get a hit or two. If kicking isn't working, you can always try outmaneuvering them instead. Sometimes simply running to one side of your enemy and then swapping to the other side can get them to slip up, allowing you to get a hit on them when you see an opening. Another option is to swing when you're out of range of your enemy. Sometimes you can use this to trick them to attack you, then you can move in for an attack when they are open. Yet another option for outmaneuvering your enemy is to get in close and use a stab or a slash charge attempt to get around the shield user's guard, thus nailing a hit on their back or the back of their legs. This only works, however, if you are close enough. Another technique that I often use to outmaneuver shield users is to hide my weapon windup. If you turn your back for a moment when you begin to stab, the enemy may not notice your windup. Then swiftly turn around right into your enemy. If their guard is down and they were pushing you, this will nail them right on. Don't be afraid to combine outmaneuvering your enemy with kicking for even better results in a fight against a shield user. Constant movements are a good way to get around shield users because due to the shield they often lack the mobility of most other players. Now we're going to discuss weapon and perk specific tactics to dealing with shield users. First and foremost, the one tactic that I constantly turn to when I'm annoyed by a shield user is to use a long-reach weapon, like the halberd or a long spear. Since all the weapons you are able to wield with a shield have a shorter reach than the halberd or the long spear, using these weapons with the outmaneuvering tactics discussed earlier can make it easy to deal with even more advanced shield users. Also, with a longer reach of these weapons, attempting to outstam your enemy becomes much more viable. A second option is to consider the use of the rapier. The rapier has the fastest stab speed in the game, and you can use this to bombard a shield user until you knock their weapon away. Combine this class with the dodge perk, and you can easily bombard and then maneuver around the shield user for an amusing kill. The final tactic is to be a troll with firebombs. This is extremely effective if playing a team-based game against multiple shield users. Throw the firebombs at the feet of turtle shield users, or for a better tactic, throw the firebomb behind them when they aren't paying attention, and attack them until you push them into the fire. In conclusion, dealing with shield users can be difficult, but if you combine these tactics, you can relieve the stress of having to fight them. To sum it up, always use the kick whenever you have the opportunity. Try your best to outmaneuver your opponent and trick them into opening themselves so that you can attack. And if you still can't fight them, try using a pole weapon at a distance or use the dodge perk to sneak around them. If all else fails, grab a shield and some fire pots yourself and you can really go at them. Well, that's it for this guide, everyone. If you liked the video, go ahead and subscribe, like, and comment for more great upcoming guides just like this. The next guide is probably going to be my version of a general combat video. Then I can finally get into more advanced aspects of Mordhau. Keep watching if you want to see more examples of fighting against shield users. Otherwise, I will catch you on the next episode.
Damn, dude. I have no range with this bastard sword.